Bonsoir, Jérôme.
Bonsoir, Marc.
Good evening, everybody. We'll do this talk in English because I suppose it's the language most of us share. Second thing is this talk, this conversation will last not longer than 1 hour, because in 1 hour from now we need to leave the room to give space for the screening, the test screening of the next film. And in third place, at any time in this conversation, if you feel like you want to say something or ask something, you're very welcome. Just give a sign, I hope and see you, otherwise shout. And you can always ask. You can ask in Portuguese, I can try to translate, or in French if you wish, then I don't need to translate. But even in Portuguese, you understand that, yes, okay. Or in English, of course. Jérôme.
Oui.
I start with the title. You call this a retrospective. It's a title that we know mainly from the visual arts.
Yeah.
And it's so I asked myself. So he uses this title to talk about. Normally, it's one of the most material art forms, visual arts. You use it for one of the most ephemeral arts forms, which is dance. It's also a case that you're not showing any of your works, you're showing images of your works. So you didn't even make a lot of these images, that were made by other people.
Yeah.
And in the third place, it's only a not a very small part, but it's like 1/3 of your works that are represented in the film, more or less. And of those works, of course, only short fragments.
Yes.
So my question is, in what sense is it a retrospective?
It is a retrospective because it comes from the visual arts, because the last years I've been working mainly not mainly, but also in museums. So in the museums I had to show some, because suddenly the arts, not the artwork, but the museums, it's more precise, were thinking that my work was interesting for the history of art, because that's what a museum is made for. A museum is writing what is history. So I did some exhibitions around the world, good ones, bad ones, but it led me to look at the videos, at the archives. And then the exhibition was not traveling, so I thought it was interesting because I had to work a lot. I had to think about what is my work in a retrospective way. They didn't ask me so much. Of course they asked me for new things, but also for old things, because this is the way they work. So there was a new possibility for me to present my work. And also, it's more like I'm a curator for an exhibition. It's not so much about film, I think you're right, it comes from the visual art practice. And it's like I am a curator, I do it before one is doing it for me. The other title of the piece was Jérôme Bel is dead. But my colleagues didn't like it. It was good, because this will survive. And of course, this is a tension that we have as performers, people living with live art, is that things are disappearing. And this is hard for me to accept, I have to say. And the museums bring me to this idea that we have to keep, I don't know if it's a good idea, but I tried, and then at least there is this. Also, in a more personal way, you see this guy, some of the dancers have been dancing with me for 20 years, 25 years. Now they are doing your job. They quit, because now they're directing theaters or schools, and they're not with me anymore, and they have Thai and Swiss, and so our youth is past. They won't work with me anymore because they have like a new job, which is great. But something is finished, and it won't happen again. For example, Show Must Go On has been filmed by many. I mean, we're still doing it live, and
We'll do it here again.
Yeah, right. We do it next year. Yeah. We do it again because it's what we call the repertoire, and we have great recording. I mean, recent recording of the Show Must Go On. But when I saw the different ones through the years, through 20 years, I have chosen the worst version. I mean, the worst technical version, the one you've seen, which is like in Porto, by the way, in São João, because in a way there is something authentic. Show Must Go On, for example, now is different. I changed it because of Gala. Gala is the last one. So my work, because as doing living art, you can change every night. That's the fun of live art, of performance. And that's what I like to do. So Show Must Go On today is very different from the Show Must Go On you've seen right now. I mean, in 20 years ago. So this is interesting to go back to in order to see what was interesting for me, I don't know if it's visible for you and interesting for you, is what we can call now, and this is a word which is difficult for me to say, love. Okay. Love. There is maybe une œuvre. Une œuvre, it means something bigger than one show, one moment of the show, but something which is embracing time in a different way. So, and as obsessed guy with art, I go to museums and I love to see a retrospective of painters. Even I don't like the painter, I go. Because it's not about if you like or you don't like. I mean, if you like, it's better, but if you don't like, you see what an œuvre is, what is the work of an artist. Where he starts and how he changes, he evaluates, is getting better or she's getting better, or sometimes it's getting worse, which is very sad. But I'm obsessed with this, and I wanted to because I always do a performance or a piece for me, what has been, what I have done, if I have done something. How, through 25 years, how I evaluate, and I show it here, how sometimes it's ridiculously so simple that we see the t-shirts tells the dancer what to do, and then music tells the dancers what to do again. I mean, it's exactly the same idea, but it took me 5 years to go from this one to the other. How the bodies are the same as me, and slowly it opens. How we're in the beginning in something very minimalistic and with tension a lot. I mean, the naked, the skin, like towards us, and then how it gets better in a way. I mean, one of my favorite things here is to show, because it was like 7 years between the two, but Véronique Doisneau, good evening, my name is Véronique Doisneau, and I'm at the Paris Opera, and my life is shit, and dancing is very hard, and then you see, hello, I'm Lorraine, I'm a Mongoloid, and I'm the dancing queen. Those kind of things, but, you know, that's what, that's what, I mean, because we're in a film festival, but what Dao is saying, to bring what art is to bring things which are very, very far away from each other. That's what the tension between two things which are far away. So things like this was interesting. Of course, it's not everything. It's not a retrospective, but it would be impossible to show a retrospective. It would be so boring because I've made so many boring shows. So shit, I've done. When you see it with this perspective of the video, I do things which are the same again and again for 5 years. Nobody really noticed, but when you, because one is, you forgot the show before, and then you see the new one. Oh, it's new, but it's not new. If you watch them one after the other, it's the same. So you don't put it in a frame like this, which allows us to put the things, allows me to put the things next to the other. In fact, take off the bad things.
Yes. In fact, this is a film festival. What I found also interesting in this, and the way you made this film, is that it's a curatorial act. So there are choices made that you made, but the whole film is made with very filmic means. There is no voice off. There is no narration. It's just editing, just cutting. And
yeah, it's just performances. Mm-hmm. They're all performances. That's why it's so bad film, because I mean the beginning is like people who are technicians of the theater. We recorded, and that's it. No, I didn't. It was not a plan, because I couldn't imagine that in the beginning, like 25 years ago, I would be still in the theater doing things.
But
that was not a plan. I was in the present, Mark. I was in the present all the time. I was young. I didn't see future. I was not imagining any future, and now I don't imagine so much future, but I see a lot of past now.
But you trust in the film that the images will tell your story. There is no, no.
Okay, yeah, because another explanation for this thing is that Arte wanted me to do something. And I said, yeah, I would love to work on for TV. And then they sent me a kind of guideline to say what I have to do. You have to speak with very simple words. You have to see the artist talking. You have to... What the fuck is this? Is this French TV? I mean, European TV? And I don't like that. I don't like... I mean, there is a very few documentaries which are great about choreographers. And of course,